Welcome and good evening to the Showboys podcast. This is the penultimate episode of House of the Dragon, Season 3. I'm your host, Pixel Nick, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Chadwick III.
What up?
Chad, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just got done playing pickleball.
Ooh.
I'm a little sweaty, a little tired, a little dehydrated, clearly. But
we're outside.
I was outside. Yeah,
it was a warm one today. Very nice though.
Yeah, we go. So there's a tennis ball court right around the corner from my house. That is just clearly not a pickleball court, but we play pickleball on it. But because it has lights, there's actually lights, so we can play until they shut the lights off at 10 o'clock. So we usually go around 8ish and play through the sun going down. But tonight and the past couple nights, we've been playing all summer. There's people playing tennis. I haven't seen a single person on this court all summer long, and then all of a sudden there's this resurgent in tennis, and I can't be mad about it because I'm not on a pickleball court. I'm on a tennis court.
That is true. That is true. It'd be funny if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
There's pickleball courts and the tennis people were coming to take over.
Yeah.
Man, it just makes you think of Timothy Chalamet's comment about opera or whatever that made everyone upset. I thought you were gonna drop like a no one likes tennis comment and just all the outrage out there.
Yeah, let's be honest with you, man. It's just nobody seems to play tennis anymore unless you're trying to play pickleball on said tennis court, and then everybody kind of comes out of the woodwork.
Right. All right. That's nice. That's fun.
How are you?
Good. We had it's not a community pool, but it felt like a community pool. It was a neighbor's pool down the street, and part of the neighborhood came out, and it was just good time hanging out.
All new neighbors, yeah,
new neighbors, but I mean they're people that we know for a long time. They're kind of like family friends. So
that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, they're also kind of the ones that spotted us this house.
I was gonna say, dude, I was like, you're already having pool parties with your neighbors.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I've talked to any of my neighbors. I've lived here for coming up on 11 years.
Yeah, no.
try to
right in. Yeah. Wife's parents live 5 minutes away, and her dad's retired, so he came over. They were there. Another neighbor came over from the town, I would say. So it was a nice little collective. It was nice use of our 85-degree weather Tuesday before we kind of get some spotty storms coming up here.
I'm ready for a good storm, though, man. That's one of my favorite parts of summertime, and it hasn't happened. Yeah, it hasn't happened. I hate working during storms because it's just a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Because everybody's just seemingly driving around at 3 o'clock in the morning looking for trees that have fallen, and then instead of calling the appropriate people, they just call the fire department, right? Just default to the fire department.
Derp.
So it's we show up and we're like, yep, that's a tree fell.
That's a tree fell. Here's a cone.
Yeah. I mean,
caution.
But it's
that.
It's
don't drive into it
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's call like that. It's insane. But it is fun sometimes if you don't have anything to do the next day, at least.
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah. The difference with where we live now is I always felt Canton maybe something about the weather out of the west, right? Just breaks up by the time it gets to Canton. I blame the airport.
Yeah.
But here we live in this swale of where we get lake effect just weather constantly, because we're exactly east of Cleveland. So if you draw a line directly west, you'd hit the downtown Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Which Cleveland is right on the lake. So basically the lake right there, whatever. So it just comes over, and this whole band from where we are to basically PA just gets swept with
that's gonna be fun,
random weather. So
it's gonna be fun in the wintertime.
Oh, it gets hammered with
snow. No, I bet. Yeah.
Hammered. But we're not here this isn't a weather forecast. This is a Game of Thrones podcast companion series where we're covering House of the Dragon. And like I said, penultimate episode. Chad, where are we at here? Is this a penultimate episode, or are we getting bamboozled? That's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely felt like a penultimate episode at times. but then at times did not feel like that. And honestly, the preview for next episode kind of looks like that penultimate episode that I was
Mhm.
expecting, at least. But there's a lot of big things that happen here. A lot of
Oh yeah,
predictions that we made came true in this episode.
insane.
So yeah, it was a lot of big things happened. So I'm not mad at it for a penultimate episode.
I think I definitely enjoyed it for a penultimate episode because while it didn't have like your Battle of the Bastards like level battle, right? Or even the spoils of war, um, kind of like set pieces, I felt like their main like action set piece was definitely one of the most unique experiences we've got out of this universe so far in terms of like a dragon battle. And they even talk about that in either the after credit, or I also watched the, the making of the episode too. And they were like, they wanted to do a big dragon fight, but it's like, what haven't they done yet? Right. Cause we're
Right.
always in the skies. So the on the ground one I like because it's very contained, right? Like it's kind of like the bar brawl, right? In
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the streets or something. But obviously much bigger than that. But then it had so much. Again, they're really dropping lots of like Game of Thrones like Easter eggs in here, and we got a lot of just kind of like set pieces, like threads to be like tying up almost like a finale in Game of Thrones typically would, right? Where we're kind of setting up the next like leg of the story. So
Yeah.
I don't it just makes me wonder like what is in store for us in the finale exactly, because I felt like this had elements of a penultimate, but also had elements of a finale. So
Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel about it. It definitely had mixes, but yeah, I would agree that maybe these episodes are going to end up feeling flipped. Like feels more like the finale where you're getting that kind of wrapping up, like you said, the wrapping up threads going on.
right,
Um
and like some of the cliffhangers here and there.
yeah.
So many things, like little things have happened with so many different characters, and we hit a really, I mean, we probably hit every single character because
Mhm.
um kind of like those penultimates do, right? I always think of Spoils of War because it's probably one of my favorite penultimate episodes. Because because that's the episode like where Jamie sits down with the
Yeah,
old
but I don't
Tyrell
know
lady.
that. Let me look real quick because I don't know. I think the reason that that one was so, like, effective was because it was not a penultimate episode, but let me verify that. And
Okay.
that's something that I think it it almost lands better because you know that the penultimate episodes are coming, right? So it's like
Yeah.
this first episode didn't feel like a pilot episode for a season or the first episode of a season. That's why it was so
Oh, that's the
effective, I
fourth
believe.
episode. Never mind.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Let me go to Game of Thrones here because I want to look because there's a couple other ones too that are actually
Yeah,
big,
but wasn't there
like
only
set
6 episodes in
piece.
that season? No, that was the eighth season.
Maybe there was. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Maybe there
yeah.
was.
Season 7, episode 4.
So, yeah, like Hard Home is episode 8
Yeah.
of the 10 episodes. So that was another super
Well,
effective kind of
you
switcheroo
know,
that they did there. And that one just came out of left field, you know?
yeah, but then now that I think, like, now that you say that one's 8 of 10, right? The other hard thing with Game of Thrones, like directly comparing with House of the Dragon, is there was always 10 episodes in a bulk of the seasons. So like, and there's way more to cover in Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. So 8 being like that big like sequence, and then needing another episode to kind of fill, right? Because like Hard Home was a good majority like about Hard Home, right? And we had these
It
episodes in
was a
Game
good
of
chunk,
Thrones
like half
where,
of the yeah, like half of the episode was dedicated to it.
yeah, and that's like with Game of Thrones, there's just so much going on. Like they would at times dedicate entire halves of episodes, if not like the entire episode, to like one thing. So is a little tricky there because now we're also talking like compression of this into like 8 episodes. So
Yeah.
like the timing's a little different. And maybe that's like why we get like a different blend. You can almost think of this as like episode 8 and 9
Right.
of a Game of Thrones season.
Yeah. But I think
Anyway, though,
I do. Yeah. I believe it's safe to say that I don't think that we're going to get, unless something just went catastrophically wrong with the trailer for next week's
I
episode. I
don't
don't
think
think
I
we're going to get
watched the
the,
trailer somehow.
yeah, I
I
don't
feel like I
think we're going to
missed
get
it.
the, like, we were worried about this kind of fizzling out like season 2 did, where we were taking this long journey and it just kept building and building and building and never really built to anywhere significant. Doesn't appear
Yeah.
that that's going to be the case, which makes me, yeah, I still have concerns, I still have concerns. Like, I have concerns that they cut something significant out to hit this mark. I just really, what it comes down to is I don't think executives sitting in a boardroom should be making decisions on how many episodes a season of a show has. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to pull the funding, okay, but I think that's what happened is they came through and they pulled a bunch of money from all their shows because they were trying to sell to Warner Brothers or whoever it was.
Yeah.
But
And
I
I
just
mean,
don't believe you should be making that decision.
I don't know why the episode count is such a thing because you would think, like, I'm sure there's tons of like technical optimizations on like why episode count does matter from a budgeting perspective and like
Yeah.
but like at the same time they kind of just shoot like the show. I get like they shoot it in episodes, but I just don't understand why you can't like shoot all the stuff and then just splice it however you want, right? As long as all the content's
Exactly.
there and filmed,
Right.
like make 40-minute episodes. I don't care. They don't have to be an
The
hour.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I agree.
um,
The only thing I can really think of is that we know from Game of Thrones that the dragons, the dire wolves, that kind of stuff is very expensive to produce.
yeah,
So maybe they're thinking of it like that, like, hey, we got a lot of dragons. We're gonna have to cut the episodes down into to say, to try to save the money to do the dragons because we've got, however many 15 dragons in the show versus
right.
the 3 that we were struggling with on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and they've talked a lot too in the making of where it's like, they didn't have a budget for like a big flea bottom, but like now as they've progressed, they've been able to add on to it. And then this season they were able to put a lot of money toward Flea Bottom because the story kind of called for it because they spent a lot of time in Flea Bottom. So I guess there's other logistics like that to consider. But I mean, I definitely agree that executives should not be making decisions on
Right.
the length of things. But ultimately, they say the budget, and then the creators have to kind of make a decision there in terms of like how they're gonna cut up the show.
But this is like
So
this is almost, I mean, it's not really the same thing as Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones had just an overarching feeling of like everybody just wants to be done with a show. So let's just crank out, whatever. What the final season end up being, like 5 episodes or something
I
ridiculous?
think it was 6. I think it was
Was it
6
6?
because it went down to 8 and then 6. I
Yeah,
don't think even
6.
7
Yeah.
was a full tenor.
Yeah. So it's, I just don't want to see that mistake happen again.
Yeah,
and these people
no,
haven't been working on the show as long as the people on Game of Thrones, right? Because
just
we're
the
only doing 4 seasons.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting how that all works out, and it's also weird too. Like you would think it's like, well, why can't they just throw the budgets at it that it deserves? But at the same time, Game of Thrones had like merchandise and
Right.
so many
Yeah.
other things, whereas I don't see any of that for House of the Dragon. Right, there aren't toy lines for House of the Dragon. Not
Yeah,
that
not
Game
that
of
I've
Thrones had a
seen.
huge
Yeah.
one, but like there was other paraphernalia out there.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, for
I just
sure.
don't see with this. So
And
they're probably
not to
definitely
mention, yeah.
cutting corners or like really measuring like we're gonna make money from streaming. That's really kind of about it. So like these are our numbers we got to work within.
But like, honestly, watching this season, like, it seems like they really pumped the money into this season, and I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that is to correct the error of last season where we're like, "Hey, sorry, kind of screwed you guys. Here's some extra money, do whatever you want to do with
Right.
it."
Right.
But
Well,
this
there's a lot of weird
feels
stuff
like,
going on in season 2 because that was when they like sold a bunch of their catalog off, and like they were
Mhm.
doing a bunch of goofy like money things over at HBO for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but it like, hopefully, it's just this feels like a penultimate season, really. It
Yep.
feels like a
Yeah,
final
that is
season at
true.
times, like, this could be a final season, you know? Um,
Right. Not knowing the
but it
story.
definitely has got that penultimate feeling, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the episode in that regard. They delivered on a lot of fronts and snuck in a lot of important things. um, there are so many like little things that happened. I think I really want to focus on really the really what the thumbnail is here, and it's our trio here of Laris, Aegon, and gosh, what's his Lannister name? Anyway,
Um,
um,
yeah, what is his name? You would think we'd have these names down by now,
heck
but they were a
no, I
little
used to.
is
Um,
it Jeffrey or something like that? No, that's not
no,
right. Let's
no,
look.
no. But somehow in this episode, like we kind of made fun of them last episode because they were kind of just like a blundering kind of band of idiots. But
Yeah.
something really changed in this episode where I really enjoyed these three. Um, because they're on the road, they're headed to a Rook's Rest. They're gonna you know set off to Essos. Laris is all for it. Because that's just for whatever reason we still don't know why he's just like we must
Thailand is
Thailand,
his
yes,
name. Yeah.
why we must preserve the king. Meanwhile, Thailand is like, are you sure? Like, I think we should go back to Castle Rock for a lot of reasons. So
Which, just to be
Aegon's,
clear, that's the right move. Like,
yeah,
I think we said that last episode. Like, why don't they just? I think we
right,
said it more so about Thailand showing back up at Rook's Rest.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just go there. Like,
yeah. And yeah, he's pushing for it, and they have a lot of good moments. So like they're riding, and Thailand has two swords with him, so they kind of have this cool little band here, where it kind of gives this sense that like Aegon's kind of rebuilding like his little contingent, right? And then they're on the road, and all of a sudden, we have or not, sorry, not Ormond, the Mooton. I forget how they said it, but it's Mooton, the Mooton host, and these are just some Rhaenyra loyalists. And they're marching in. I think it was either last episode or early this episode. They said that they were basically on the move because they're hunting Thailand because they heard that he is loose. Not after Aegon, right? They're after Thailand, and has
mhm.
to do with where's the money, where's the gold, which I thought was interesting, and that was kind of maybe a forgotten thread because that was really just mentioned in one episode earlier in the season. But there is a little subplot here where it's like, where is the money from the crown
Where is it?
treasury?
Yeah.
No one really knows. Thailand doesn't even. I think it's interesting though that Thailand like doesn't even respond to that like comment. He's just like as if it was never said. It was just said, and kind of correctly. He's just like doesn't react to it because basically, what would he say? What money? I don't know. I do,
Yeah,
but
right. Yeah,
I ain't gonna talk
not a
about that.
great yeah, not a great
Good poker
argument.
face. That's him.
Is it a good poker face, or does he genuinely not know what they're talking
That's the
about?
thing. He comes off as like he genuinely is just kind of an idiot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but at the same time, like he is who he is, and he's in the positions he was, and like he was master of coin, wasn't he? So it's like
yeah.
I think he knows, but he just has a good like. Not gonna talk about that right now. I'm not gonna give you that any merit. So they're on the road, and all the people, all the peasants are like going in the opposite direction, and Aegon kind of like gets it in his mind that like he's like, you know what, we're actually just gonna ride that way, like we're gonna meet this force head on, right? Because he's like, I don't want to kind of go out as just the king that was captured and then
Killed
killed
by his
by,
brother.
yeah, killed by his brother,
That's what
like
he
you
doesn't.
name it.
Yeah,
And he's kind of, yeah, he's coming to terms with himself and his situation. I just really like the arc that he just took in this like one episode, like really quickly, and kind of on this like last stand to just like basically meet his end because I don't think he wanted to go to Essos. He doesn't really want to do anything. He doesn't want to just run.
Yeah, I think he is in fact over it. But I think his biggest point is that he doesn't want to go down in the books as being killed by his brother, which is what the general public
Yeah.
probably thinks of him right now. Is that, well, I don't know if they know that he was killed by his brother or attacked by his brother rather.
Yeah,
But that's going
I
to be
don't think
written
people
down.
really know that's what happened to him at that battle. Like that's how him and Sunfire went down.
Yeah,
But
but he doesn't know
definitely
that, right? He
what?
doesn't know that they don't know that.
Correct. Yeah, there's that. But also like he's just kind of missing after Rhaenyra just rolled up in the capital and Aemond was like sitting. So it's like what happened to Aegon? So it's like kind of like anyone's story. And I think that's maybe what he worries about. He's like literally anyone at this point, Rhaenyra, Aemond, like anyone could say anything about how I went out, and that's just going to be the end of it. And I don't think he likes that at all. There is no
Yeah,
like
yeah,
definitive claim to like his story, and I think that's what he wants, one way or
yeah,
another. Um, and I don't know, like I love the scene when Laris kind of like, you know, if that's what you're gonna do, I'm a cripple. I've got no part in that. Tylen's like, well, that's lame. And Aegon's like, well, he's got a point. Like, he's not gonna do nothing here. So to Laris's, benefit, he gets to just kind of sulk off and ride away. But good on Tylen for standing by his king. Good Lannister move, right? Some
yeah. Oh,
Lannister
yeah, for
points
sure.
there.
Yep.
Um, but I don't know. It just has such a great payoff in this episode. All the way to like there's camped out. They meet him. They're coming. He gives that great speech. Tylen's like ready to go down with it all. And that was just a really good, like, even like how long you could hear Sunfire
Yeah,
coming to the point where he's like actually there. And I don't know, everyone's reaction was just so spot on. Like
yeah.
even Aegon like loses his mind. Tylen's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dude, the whole scene's hilarious because he's giving this speech during the dragon walking up and the soldiers are like cowering in fear and it's
Yeah.
seemingly about this speech that he's giving until
Hmm.
you hear that dragon coming closer and closer and you're like, "Oh, they're freaking out because they hear the dragon." But this is awesome. This is a prediction we made a couple episodes ago. Whenever he laid on him and said that he was alive, I said that I think he's alive. Like, why would he have that reaction to it? We know that the dragon and the rider have like a special bond together.
Hmm.
I also love the way he looks. He's got a messed up
They
face, just
kept
like
that from us
Aegon.
even like we saw the left side
Yeah,
of Sunfire in that scene when he was kind of like holding him. So like and then they don't show you because even when he's coming up behind Aegon, you see his left side. And then when he comes around to Aegon's other side, and then you can see that whole half of his face is just gone. That's
yeah,
rowdy looking. Um
yeah, for sure.
And by the way, that's like this. There's so much good dragon like detail and action in this entire episode. Like, I mean, we even get to see Dreamfire in like a dream, right? Which I
Yeah,
don't think we've seen either. Who's purple, which is really dope. That's a
sick.
really
Yeah,
cool dragon design and very fitting
yeah,
for her. Like, Dreamfire is this purplish, like midnight dragon. Then Sunfire is this golden one, but like now like his master is missing like half his face. Kudos for Sunfire for still like being able to move and do
yeah,
things.
man. He's back. He's ready. Took a little
I feel like
nap.
we yeah, took a little nap, a little recharge. I feel like we have to go back though and like how they've done that with Star Wars now, where they kind of say like, okay, where lightsabers actually do damage and kill people versus where they clearly just don't and it's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I wonder how consistent now going back is like, well, that dragon could have survived that just fine.
yeah,
Especially what we see
yeah,
in this episode in terms of like they've really kind of set new standards in terms of this is what dragons can do and like what they can take in terms of like dragon on dragon beatings.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I'll be curious to go back because I think it's just a fall, right? Like he just hit, and they both tumble down to the castle. Correct?
Talking about Dream Sunfire.
Some fire, yeah.
Well, they get breathe fire on from Vagar.
Well,
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then
But then
they
after
just kind
that,
of
it's like a
fall.
long tumble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Completely
yeah.
respectable.
I
It's
mean,
probably kind of losing, not getting the wind knocked out of them for a long time. Dragon takes a while,
yeah,
you know.
he's got to get his yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I just think this whole scene was awesome, dude. Like it was awesome. It kind of levels the I don't want to say levels the playing field because they're still pretty, they're struggling over on the green side, but this at least brings another dragon on the board. Aegon has a leg to stand on. I genuinely thought that he was going to die in this scene. I thought he was going to go out and fight and die. And that's the perks of maybe not knowing where his story goes in the book because
Yeah.
we haven't read it. But I genuinely thought like, oh yeah, he's gonna do a Jon Snow level one last stand, but actually die during that one last
Well,
stand.
John had an
So
army that showed up.
he did have yeah.
And
I mean, so did
Aegon
Aegon. It
has a
just is in
dragon.
the form of a dragon. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and that beat the Guinness World Records for a 23-man burn.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. So they've done several 20-man burns in Game of Thrones and then House of the Dragon here. So the first one I think was Spoils of War.
Yeah,
They did a
probably.
20-man burn there, and I think that they did like another 20-man burn earlier in this series, but then they were like, let's set the world record. So they did 23, and it's really cool. Like they just put all the flame retardant like gel on them, and then they're like in full like costume body. It's ridiculous what they put into it, but that scene is a mix of not burning people in the woods there, like flailing, and then burning people on the back lot, like
Yeah.
where they're like rolling and doing all the things. You should watch that just as a firefighter, because then like the
Oh, yeah,
dudes
I'd love to
the
see that.
the
Yeah.
the stunt guy that was in charge of the burn, he was like counting out loud, like I think up to 15, like just counting the seconds, and then as soon as he got there, like an equal number of like fire extinguishers ran in and just like put them all out. So cool, the little things that they focus on in this show.
Yeah, that's wild. You would think that would just be like I never even really thought in my head that it was real fire. Like I just assumed that it
Dude,
was
yeah.
all like computer generated. They're still doing real fire. That's wild.
Well, yeah, and they talked about earlier in the season when Chris and Cole, when they burned the camp, they built those, that they made the camp out in the wild. Like there's the camp where they filmed everything. Then they built a replica of the camp, identical, on the back lot, and then burned the tents.
Oh wow, cool.
And the same thing with actually Rhaenyra's bonfire. They actually burned that too. So a lot of real fire in this show, which should be.
Should be. Yeah, I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I just yeah, that's cool. It's cool. I would have never guessed.
Yeah. They do such a good job. But yeah, so I mean, and I think probably not that it's even like you said, but probably the big bonus though, and I think we've talked about this, like what Rhaenyra's problem is that she doesn't know anything really.
Yeah.
In terms of what the chessboard looks like. So Sunfire is simply just like a mega wild card. Like they're out there thinking Aegon's on his last leg, and they're literally looking for a cripple and then like a almost crippled person. And now they're kind of looking for a dragon that they think is dead.
Yeah, it's a big twist because they're also still hunting Vagar as well. Vagar's missing, right? So we have all these missing dragons, and now a new one back that we thought was dead. So it's an interesting little twist, and I like the parallel of the Greens gaining a dragon this episode and the Blacks losing a dragon this episode with
Technically.
Reyna. I mean,
Yeah.
they did. I think maybe he survives.
That was
Maybe he
I mean, that
survives.
was an opportunity to gain one for sure, but that one's, yeah,
It's a
definitely a wash.
it's a curveball. Too much of a
Yeah.
curveball. It's a wild dragon, and you can tell. I love that whole scene too. It was great when we get to it.
No, we can talk
Um,
about that right now because we're just talking about dragons at this point.
yeah, I mean the standoff there is just phenomenal, dude. Like so good. Like they clearly, and this is always, and it goes back to season 1 of House of the Dragon where Viserys tells Rhaenyra like the idea that we control the dragons is an illusion, right? Like
mhm.
they're wild creatures, and we get to see that kind of come out here, where it's like all these super experienced dragon riders are not even able to control their dragons
I mean,
in some scenarios.
the only one that does, and I would give him a 90 out of 100 would be Damon, right?
Damon,
Like
yeah, yeah,
Damon Caraxes, and obviously in this scene, definitely display it, but like he has the most control. Both for himself and Caraxes is good, but like is really close with um Caraxes. Cyrax. Caraxes is
Cyrax,
his,
yep,
Cyrax is Rhaenyra's, and
yep,
those two are very close dragons. But yeah, like you get down in it, and you know all these people, all these riders are like on foot, and there's just these giant dragons, like kind of acting like defending dogs. And you know, dogs can be as trained as you want them to be, but like I think we've attained a lot of that out of dogs because we have such a controlled domestic world that we live
yeah,
in. Um, you put dogs and people in like these kind of situations, just like off in the wild, like, the dogs, and once the dog fight starts, like you're kind of, we can't do much
yeah,
without
yeah,
also dying or getting severely injured ourselves. Because like two dogs may be somewhat manageable with enough like people in the zone, but like four dogs, like that, there's just not much you can do
right,
as a
yeah,
person.
and it definitely depends, I think, entirely on the dog and the training and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. But there are some dogs that just have a switch, no matter how well they're trained, they just
right.
have a switch that will flip on.
Yes.
And I used to have I had a buddy that had huskies
Yep.
growing up,
Fair.
super well trained dogs, but they're hunters. They
Yes.
have an electric fence around the perimeter of their house, and if they would see a squirrel on the other side of that or something they wanted to chase, they would bolt right through that electric fence. But huskies are also super loyal, so they'll come
Yes.
back to you if you feed them.
Yes.
So they've been fed at this house, and when they come back, they'll know that that electric fence is there. And he said they'll just be pacing in the street, not wanting to cross that.
Yep.
So it's just like a flip that switches on them.
I had a husky lab, and that is exactly describes them. Like
Yeah,
you can train them as much as you want, but like they have a switch in them. Like
yeah,
there is a wolf element
yeah,
about them no matter
yeah.
what. And yeah, they're super loyal. They would probably never ever harm you. But
Right.
like whether it's another dog, whether it's a squirrel, like they hunt. And
Yeah.
like the electric fence does not matter. We had a, a training collar for him, and it was a shock and a beep. The noise was probably more effective just generally, but like the shock, he would surprisingly ignore a good deal of that. And
Yeah.
if he was bent on something, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's that
But that's
wolf
like
in him,
these
yeah.
dragons.
Yeah. Same thing. Same exact thing. And you can't assume that any of these people, besides Damon does have good control over Caraxes, but there is that, you gave him 90%. There's that 10% that's been a problem this season multiple times.
Well, and the other thing though is like Damon wields the dragon appropriately. Everyone is
Yeah.
so passive about it, but like Caraxes know that like he's like, oh yeah, I mean, Damon's totally gonna let me mess this dragon up. Like,
Right. Right.
like he doesn't have to worry about that. So they're just so in sync.
Yeah.
Whereas like Cyrax and Rhaenyra, like Rhaenyra's not gonna like get on Cyrax and have like a dragon on dragon fight mounted. She just kind of flails around.
Yeah.
Same thing with Alan, um, the brother of Alan.
Yeah. What
What's his name?
Adam?
Adam. Should be easy to remember. Adam and
Yeah.
but like Adam, like he's also not like super experienced either.
Right.
And then obviously the wild card here, Reyna, like just her dragon is literally the wild, and that's the other element, with the dog thing. If you have 4 dogs, 3 are trained, 1 is literally a wild dog. There's not really much training that's gonna like stop that
Yeah, it
dog
doesn't
from
matter.
attacking
Yeah.
your dogs,
Yeah.
right? Then
And
it
then your
doesn't
dogs
matter.
are gonna react, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I love this scene. I love that. I loved everything about this scene.
because we saw earlier in this episode or last episode where Adam and
Raina's sister, whatever her
Reyna's
name
sister,
is.
like they see the dragon off in the distance, right? And it kind of, they thought it was Vagar, but it was actually Reyna. Like, I feel like they left this out. Like, maybe this is something that got cut, but I really feel like we just kind of jumped to like what Reyna was doing, where she just thought she was going to hunt Vagar. Like, we didn't really get that, did we?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Like that just kind of came out when Damon confronted her.
Yeah.
But this was just a really cool setup on the scene where he comes down to Caraxes, actually attacks them in the sky and gets them to land, and then he like confronts her, and already like Sheep Stealer's hyper like on alert, like ready to like pounce, and like Caraxes is just doing the snake thing, just bobbing and weaving. But like already then, like they're having like Damon's like Caraxes like chill, like because Sheep Stealer like loads up to like breathe fire and like it gets heated. And they're able to like mellow the situation, but then in the sky you have Rhaenyra and Adam coming, and then it just becomes this mosh pit of just like this 4-way dragon standoff.
Yeah.
And the fight is just awesome. I am surprised. I thought Cyrax was dead, gonna die.
Oh yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Um
I was surprised that because we really didn't get a dragon dying here. Like Sheep Stealer is really messed up. Like there's a good chance he's going to die, but we didn't see. He kind of scurries off into the shadows.
Well, it's
But-
interesting that Damon did not finish him off like he said he would.
Yeah.
And he had no reason to like, other than him falling off and Caraxes like, hey bro, like whatever. But it's like he didn't get back on Caraxes and clearly just go finish the job.
Yeah, and I don't know if that is because they were having a pretty emotionally charged conversation before Rhaenyra and Adam come rolling up about him, like just being a crappy father and not having a dragon. So maybe that was it. Like he was like, here,
sparing just for a chance she could still have a dragon.
Yeah, and it is a powerful piece on the chessboard. It is a wild dragon, but they have a bond. We've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's growing as a bond. Obviously,
well, in this world, it'd be better to have a dragon, wild or not, on your side, because at least he knows that thing is going to protect the crap out of her to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do want to point out, I can't remember where in the episode it was said. Did we go to the Vale we do go to the Vale this episode, and it might have been there.
Well, that's where Damon goes, and first, like he goes there and he's like, "What the heck?" Like I thought the whole Reyna thing was supposed to be like a lid on it. Yeah. But also great shot of the Vale Castle, because I don't think we've seen that quite to that extent, because we get an extended like panoramic shot of that castle, almost like we know where it is and what it looks like, but that to me just really jumped out at me in terms of like we have not got exactly that scale of the Vale's castle up there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a long, narrow like road to get up there. No one
nobody can attack. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's what I was gonna say. Very defensible.
Other than a dragon.
Other than the dragon, yeah. But I think it's in there that she says something along the lines of like she's going to be eating and goats and nettles or something along that line. She says nettles at some point. That's the actual rider from the book's name is Nettles that rides Sheep Stealer. This is a change that they made in the book, or from the book rather. So I appreciated that. They dropped a little Nettles hint. I think in the book they just stumble across Sheep Stealer and Nettles, who is now riding Sheep Stealer.
Oh, okay. So they
So
connected it to Damon's daughter.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a totally different character that got cut. I don't know what the story is in the book, but I like the cut,
Yeah.
I think
Wonder
it's
who
cool that
Nettles
she
is.
yeah.
That's why it's good to read books and watch shows.
Yeah.
That's why they should be a little different. But yeah. But the other thing I liked about this scene was we see Caraxes, and Caraxes particular fighting ability. I don't think Sheepsailor could do anything to Caraxes, because if you watch, Sheepsailor is trying to bite Caraxes like somewhere, but Caraxes' neck is so freaking long that
Yep.
he's able to bite and pin you down, and like you can't reach, because all the other dragons like Cyrax and Sheepseer are like,
They're
I'll use
within
like,
reach.
yeah, within reach, like just biting, clawing. Whereas like Carax is just like this
Got
long
that long
crane
neck, man. Yeah.
that's just like pinning you down over here, and like you just can't get to anything. And like
Yep.
the way the neck moves, like can't even grasp anything. And I was like, that's cool. I'm like, that makes sense. Like logistically in a fight, like it's a longer reach. It's just like
Yep.
a person with a longer reach. Kind of like a heavyweight and a lightweight, if that's the right terms, like because the height matters, right?
Yeah.
In those, so it's like, yeah,
I don't know if height. I think it's mostly weight, but it goes up with height as
right,
well. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But I was like, that, yeah, that's why Caraxes is awesome.
Yeah. We need like a UFC tail of the tape. Caraxes with a 15-foot reach advantage.
An extra 30-foot, reach on the bite. It's interesting. Caraxes or Cyrax did get like a hind leg claw at the chest, kind of like I would call the fire sack.
That's what I assume, because it like it like pops and steams a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and they look like Cyrax was gnarly. Like she was like on fire, like all that. Like this is crazy. Their anatomy, the way they like design these dragons, and I was surprised Cyrax lived.
Yeah.
Cyrax got pretty messed up.
I was
And I was
surprised
like,
that any
dude,
of
if
them did.
Rhaenyra's
Yeah.
dragon dies,
Dude,
like
that would
that's
be
not good.
curveball. Yeah, that would be a huge curveball.
And again, I was like, girl, I get it, but also like, dang, like you cut it close. But
I don't
also
think it
like
was
her
worth the
outfit.
risk. I don't think
No.
it was worth the risk. I get that I get the whole thing looks bad because Damon lied to her. She's been awkwardly sleeping with this dude's skull in her room that is just a random skull, like, which is already psychotic to begin with. But is now even more psychotic knowing that that's just a random skull and it's not the actual person you think it is.
Yep.
But I don't think it's worth the risk. And I think it does come down to she's just being left in the dark on a lot of the stuff that's going on wrong. She doesn't know, like you said earlier, she doesn't know a lot of this stuff and a lot of the pieces that are on the board.
Yeah.
But I think it's way too risky to go chase it.
And she had a good point too, like to Damon, like, who do you like? What do you think I am? Like, I was gonna murder your daughter, aka my like stepdaughter. Like, what kind of psychopath do you think I am? And he's like, man,
It's like you are kind of sleeping with a skull in your bedroom. Just I don't want to point that out.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought that was a good point. Like, I'm like, I mean, she does have. I mean, she did murder Alicent and Helena, and I mean, I don't think that. I think she had a really good point there. Like, that wasn't completely valid. Like, it was worth Damon. I don't know. I think we talked about this at the time. I was like, hey, it wasn't worth the like lie to like her, that whole situation for Damon. Because worst case, she would still be pissed and she was like, I still want her like dead or whatever. Fine. She's out there missing, right? You know what I mean? Like, still a little, and then it would blow over eventually, and then she would cool off, which she takes her prisoner here and she's pissed, but like, she's not going to kill her husband's daughter.
I think that's a timing thing. I think if that was the case right after Jace's death, I think there was probably a good chance that might have happened. At least enough to do what Damon did, I believe, as a father. But yeah, I mean, I don't think she's going to do it now. Like, I think that it's kind of blown over a little bit. And she also has to be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of messed everything up over there, but I didn't actually kill Jace. It was like some archer on a boat from
Right.
the Triarchy, right?
Total point. Yeah. Just added chaos. Like Sheep Stealer was torching entire ships of the
Right.
Valerians. So yeah, not cool. And I don't know. I think I made this point too. I'm like, they could have flown further away. Like it wasn't. I mean, I know they were trying to stop Sheep Stealer from burning every ship in the bay because he was just going
Yeah.
all wild.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's another thing of just like not skilled dragon riders.
Mhm.
Like Jason Bela, like just are not as good.
Yeah.
And they're just probably approaching that situation not great, especially when you already know like dude's got harpoons down there. I don't know. I would just wait for one of the harpoon people to take out Sheep Stealer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That would have been the right move.
all this show is just like a lot of like why children ought not ride dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Or not children even, like just untrained riders.
Inexperienced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inexperienced riders.
We had the same problem with Ulf and Hugh and Adam. Not good. Not good. We can talk about our Alice, Aemond, and Alicent. So this whole beginning to this arc in this episode is crazy town. Like Harrenhal always is. And the parallels between Alice and Alicent is crazy, even to the point that they have kind of the same name.
Yeah.
And they open this up with, I don't know, what I think is like, I mean, there's been a lot of shocking like sexual content in this universe, but like this was also very shocking. Like I was kind of like, holy crap, like they're doing that. Like I find this like beyond this is like to me beyond Jamie raping Cersei
Yeah.
at the tomb of Joffrey. I just thought that was crazy. Obviously, luckily, it was like a hallucination and like a vision or a dream.
Yeah.
It was Alice actually, which was crazy, but he was like envisioning it as
Envisioning. Yeah.
her. So it's like, was she instilling that like over him? And she's aware of that, but all before she even actually shows up, which is also like a mind freak
Right.
because he walks out of that situation and then his mom is right there. And
Yeah.
there were so many like little like hints throughout there, that entire sequence where it's like he's happy she's here, but then she says things that are like exactly what just happened in his vision thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this poor kid, like he is just screwed up.
Yeah, he's getting it. He's getting it for sure at Harrenhal. That far worse than Damon did. Yeah, I don't know. I did see an article where people were like in an uproar over this scene, but I'm like, have you watched Game of Thrones? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is status quo
Yeah.
type stuff. I think what the big problem here is that it's like explicit at certain parts of it. You know what I mean?
But they're always explicit.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know where it maybe it's just people that didn't watch Game of Thrones that are just watching House of the Dragon that are like, oh, what?
Well, to me, it was like the first time they really kind of arrived at like a very racy sexual scene, because obviously like there's the usual like kissing and even Rhaenyra and Daemon, right? Because they're niece and uncle, but like, you know, it's not even like the stepmom. It's like his literal mom.
Mom, yeah.
And it's like partially instilled by like his, and like they kissed earlier in the season, but yeah, they just took it like the full like Game of Thrones distance there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, what's her name? Got raped in Game of Thrones. Like, actually, there's plenty of rapings in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Technically worse overall. Maybe not. I don't know. This whole scene is just like so many levels of like Freudian like destruction of the mind. But yeah, this whole like trip for him here in Harrenhal is just like continuing. And I mean, I like the scene. Like he's struggling because like he's like on one hand like, yeah, let's like build a life here, but like also mother, like I'm glad you're here, but my mom and my girlfriend hate each other.
Yeah.
But I also have sexual feelings for my mother.
Yeah, it's quite the bundle of emotions we got going on over here.
Yeah, and then she legit like in the same like episode makes the move to kill him, which I didn't think was going to come that quick.
I didn't either. Yeah.
But she just simply poisons him, which is kind of weak.
I think it's weak. I think it's definitely not going to work. I think Alice
No.
has got this. You know, she's a witch. She got
exactly.
the poisons on lock.
Again, Allison not doing her research on a subject. Like, girl, he's like in bed with a witch up in here. Like, this place is spooky.
Yeah.
I think she knows how to fix whatever poison you gave him.
Especially when you got the poison from the courtyard of Harrenhal. Like, I'm pretty sure they've probably dealt with that here at some point.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, yeah. That she's getting the sword or the dagger off of her guard, and then looks over and sees the berries or whatever it was, flowers, berries. So yeah, not the best move. I don't
execution. Okay-ish execution, but like the wrong ingredients per usual.
Yeah,
Allison.
Typical Allison. It's a typical Allison move. Just not thinking it through.
No. Yeah, and like just spazzing her way through that situation, and she messed up. And I even like Alice I like more in this episode than Allison, because Alice just like, you idiot. Like, I told you twice in like earlier today that she is here to like bring ruin upon you. Something evil is about her. And then she dropped the line, which I'm curious what she means by it. Like, all you Targaryen boys like want the same thing. Referring to her similar experience with Daemon. Where like they are just, I don't know what that meant. Like, they're fixated on the power or the women in their family or something. Like maybe the women, because like ultimately Daemon never really fell for all that because he's very loyal to Rhaenyra. And like here is Aemon just kind of like, my mommy's here.
Yeah,
I got mommy issues. It's just like, Jesus, these boys. Like,
yep. Yeah, it definitely could be. I think that's probably what it is. Yeah. Let's just say that, because that makes the most sense, I think.
Yeah, but a lot of good lines from her per usual. So yeah, Aemon's totally gonna make it out that just fine. And like we said earlier, Aegon has Sunfire back, so like we're still in play. We still don't know where Vhagar is. No one really knows where Vhagar is.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, because I thought we were going to see something this episode that would hint or show Vhagar in some capacity. Maybe he's going to show up next episode in some capacity, but I would like to know where this giant dragon is.
Well, so this conversation did pop up a couple of times, because Adam and Baela are searching for Vhagar, and they found that like burned area where they kind of had that moment worth noting where Adam kind of comes on to her, and she's just like, "Oh, you talked to your brother?" And he's like, "Ooh, frick." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that right, yeah." She's the only sister left. Be like, "Sorry, Adam, you got to go after Rhaena." Looks like Baela's taken by your big bro. But anyway, like there was that burned patch of grass. Like, was that sheep stealer they're chasing? And like everyone just keeps reporting Vhagar sightings, but it's really
it's actually sheep stealer. Yeah, that's how
that would make more sense. But Rhaena told Daemon the reason she thought she could go find Vhagar and like redeem herself is because she is like, I hear people talking about Vhagar sightings. So like, are people actually sighting Vhagar, or is that just people talking about her own dragon? Because her own dragon just goes off.
Could be also, it could be also, because you got to think to the commoners on the ground. They don't know the difference between, they don't know the difference. They just see a dragon. Yeah, there was one here.
But just ask the messer, he was like, where's Vhagar? Like, is he actually being sighted and like he's worth finding, or is he like Alice has him like?
I think he's on lock somewhere. Like, that's not a dragon that could just be traveling along the road somewhere, you know?
He's like in the woods near Harrenhal under like a dreamy spell. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I
He's
think
in a
that's
different
definitely it.
dimension. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Who
I don't know
knows?
how you hide a dragon like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that was fun. Ormond, if you want to talk about him for a little bit, he's out here like just wheeling and dealing. He's got Corliss, like, hey, if you want to, this is kind of what we talked about other episode where it's like, what's he gonna do? Try to get him and all of his kin to follow suit? Yes, that is exactly Ormond's plan there.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think we end the episode with him talking to Hugh. Or no, sorry, Ulf. Ulf seems like this is his second meeting with him.
Yeah. He's very comfortable for sure.
Yeah, because he was like, last time we talked, you
Mhm.
mentioned a castle. And he's like, he mentioned, I wish I could remember the castle's name, but it sounded like a nice, cute little castle somewhere. And then he's like, what about like Driftmark?
Yeah.
It's unclaimed. And he's like, okay. So Ormond's out here trying to flip the table. Ulf is definitely fair game to flip. Corliss, I'm not sure.
I don't know. We know that he's highly upset at Rhaenyra, and it wasn't like a resounding no. It was just a I don't even think he answered. Didn't he just say, "Bring me
He,
back to my cell"?
yeah, because he just started prying about stuff, and it was just kind of like the old man, like, I just don't want to hear it. Like, I'm old. There isn't really much point in me like picking a side. He's like the old mobster in like a
Yeah,
mob movie where he's like, the youngins are gonna do what they do. I don't really have much else to contribute to this effort. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that one's actually gonna pan out. It's worth a shot, I guess, but um Olphus is
also
better chance.
cut his finger off too, which I think was
Okay.
aggressive.
Yeah, so I guess that's like more full circle to kind of wrap that like conversation up to where it went is he speaks with Ulf further and actually promises him castle because Driftmark is actually going to be available. So I think that
Yeah,
actually tells us that he was basically declined by Corliss. And then
right.
he chopped off his finger and sent it to Adam. So or Alan. So good point there. I didn't think about that. That did kind of like wrap that thread up.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I got major concerns for Corliss, man. Like this guy's a psychopath. Um
Right. And that
and
I think that's the issue with Ormond is he comes off as like the usual you know, power hungry, fighting for the throne, but like unlike a lot of people in this time, he is a legit sociopath,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
more common in Game of Thrones, right? Like I think in Game of Thrones, people were much more cognizant of all the sociopaths out there and Psycho, the Mad King, right? We're coming off the heels of literally the Mad King.
Yep.
So I feel like Ormond is maybe like an early version of the psychotic, like lord or ruler, right? And um, you know, Reek's keeper, whatever his name is, like another like
Yeah.
psychotic
Yep.
power player. And Game of Thrones has plenty of them, whereas like this one, not so much.
No,
Also
no,
we have
yeah,
like
you're
messed
right.
up Targaryen like children, but mostly everyone in power that wield any sort of way to maneuver, like they're not psychopaths.
Right.
But Ormond is definitely like
Definitely a psychopath, yeah.
psycho or sociopath, whichever it is. Maybe more
Yeah.
sociopath, but
And then definitely, we saw this betrayal with Ulf coming miles away. Like we were on every episode. I'm like, dude, he's gonna flip. Like
yeah.
no doubt. They've done a good job showing that throughout the season of him just getting like abused by that side of the
Ormond
of
brought
the
that up.
aisle.
Like he's like, you
Yeah,
straight up got smacked in like
yeah.
flea bottom by Damon.
So that it'll be interesting because we've got Aegon back. He's certainly going to flip. It'll be interesting. That levels the playing field a little bit as far as the dragons, right?
Mm-hmm. Um, Kristen Cole's head's on a spear. Good
Yeah.
use for that.
Mhm.
Rivermen and the Winter Wolves there. 1 to 2 days out from Tumbleton, 20,000 strong for some quick numbers. Um, So I mean, they're going to show up next episode. So the question is like, do we get the siege? Do we get? I cannot imagine they're going to start that confrontation and not end it. Like, is
Right.
that the cliffhanger? Like, Ormond's not going to. It'd be crazy for them to wrap Ormond in this season. I don't.
I
I feel
don't
like we don't
think
have the time to do that.
I don't think we do either, unless he's just I mean, I don't think we do. I think you can't.
Granted, we know how Targaryens can get toward the end of seasons and just burn the whole thing down.
Right.
That could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's got a good chance to continue on, but it's also got a good chance to end. Maybe he just dies this episode, but that would be. I hope that's not the case because I do like him a lot. I think he's one of the better added characters that we've gotten in
He's
the
a
whole of the
needed
show.
element.
Yeah,
The rest of them are all too level-headed to try to even Rhaenyra. She isn't psychotic enough. I think that's the problem. Is she's kind of like, how do I do this properly, like my father would? It's like, yeah, girl, it ain't your father's time right now.
yeah.
Kind of in the civil war of your family. So he's a nice, I think, a reality check maybe for a lot of these characters. And this is all psychotic, and you have to be psychotic to play this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Daemon gets it, but he's just way too passive to Rhaenyra. But speaking of Rhaenyra a little bit, Mysaria has turned back to just annoying for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Her accent is just back to now. Granted, one of the people making the show has the same accent, which I think
really
is odd. So if you watch, especially if you watch this making of this episode, she talks a lot more, and I'm like, lady, you have the exact Mysaria accent.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's so bad. She's not getting a language coach. She's just getting this.
She's just copying her.
Yeah.
She talks to her one time, 2 times a month, and that's it.
Who was this lady that she meets with?
So this lady is from season 1. She's one of the whorehouse pimps that Daemon visited. I remember her. So she's just kind of one of the the one girl that Littlefinger hung out with, kind of the main whore on the block, that kind of looks after all the other whores and downtrodden. So this little Mysaria thing, I think I like that scene because it kind of sets us up for the Varys, the Littlefingers, where we're talking about these commoners who kind of work their way into power. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of maybe the first time we have someone like that kind of stand in the throne room and be like, I can be a conduit of power, by being close and appeasing the royals. And it was interesting. She was trying to middleman the queen's job, but this lady's totally onto her, and she's like, who do you think you are? What are you trying to do here? So yeah, that was an interesting scene. I liked it because it reminded me. To me, it's like a precursor, just like Ormond is maybe a precursor to a psychotic lord, right? Mysaria's in this moment is kind of a precursor to Varys and Littlefinger. But overall, she's just really annoying me. And then I don't know why Rhaenyra just went to her room. They had some pillow talk, but then she just tell me what I want to hear. And then she just literally tells her what she wants to hear. And then they have some sexual activity, and Daemon's missing, and that just drives her up the wall.
Yeah. I mean, she's mad at Daemon, right?
Right. That is true.
Over the lie. So
yeah. Another thing I don't like about Rhaenyra in this episode is she rolls up on Helena while she's sleeping, and then wakes her up, but doesn't at all she starts off as normal, but then she's literally tell me everything I want to know, but hope that you had a vision of. I don't know. That was just really far, and I was just dang girl,
she's grasping for straws because she's not getting information from anywhere else. So she's like, I might as well go see if the dreams are saying anything,
Yeah. We saw Dreamfire there, which was cool. Like I said,
little White Walker nod as well. A little snow scene, the snow cloud coming in.
Snow, not ash, like we all used to think back in the day. Yeah, no, that was fun just going through that sequence. I like how it started off in the courtyard of the Red Keep, and then quickly you're like, "Oh yeah, this is a dream." Um, and I think they did a good job like simulating like how dreams move. I thought it was really realistic in terms of
Yeah.
like that's kind of how you dream. Like you're in
Mhm.
a real place, there's a car, something's happening, and then all of a sudden like
Something weird happens.
something
Yeah.
weird happens, and it keeps
Yeah.
getting more weird. So I thought that was a good sequence, even though like I thought Rhaenyra was being kind of a bee about all that. Because that's just, I mean, she should know that's not how Helena, like, she doesn't respond well to all that nonsense.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think that's most of it. I can't think of the little things.
I think we covered a good chunk of it, honestly, if not
Yeah,
everything we needed to talk about.
I guess the big thing is that feels, I guess, weird about this episode is I don't know. It doesn't. I don't feel like it leads us into anything other than like the winter wolves are coming and they're almost there, and we have things that obviously can happen and are going to happen, but it's like, what's happening next episode
Yeah.
exactly from all
Yeah.
this? Like, there wasn't a cliffhanger on this. Like, that's what's weird about it all is like we had a couple nice set pieces and then just a lot of just like advancing threads, and the episode ends kind of like a finale would.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
now I'm
mean,
just
we
like,
we get a little bit of a cliffhanger with Ulf. Like that, I think that was meant to be the
yeah,
the cliffhanger moment, but we saw it coming, so that's why it didn't really feel like a cliffhanger to us, right? Maybe to other people it does, but we saw it coming a mile away that this was going to happen at some point.
yeah. And I wonder, like, to me, like, if you put all those pieces and say like how do these come together, it's like Rhaenyra's forces show up at Tumbleton. They encircle Tumbleton, right? And they're like, you guys have no recourse, just give up, right? But Aegon shows up. Well, first Ulf will like be like, yeah, I'm switching sides, right? So there's two dragons if we count little princes, little blue dragon.
Yeah.
um is that just it? They just have two dragons.
Ye- Yeah, 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 too.
Right. So like
Is that
boom, you got
right?
two.
Gosh, that seems low.
Well, hold on. So they have those two dragons, right? We've got little blue dragon. If all flips, that's another dragon. Um, if Hugh, we don't know what happened to Hugh. We got no Hugh this episode. Last, he was just getting beat up by his wife in the street. Um, did he make it out? Where's the dragon? No one seems to
Yeah.
care where Hugh is this whole episode.
Yeah.
Um, clearly, Ulf's not like reporting anything useful. He would be the only person to know. So it's like, can Hugh flip? Is that a thing? Right. So then say Hugh, maybe that's three. Not like there's any way to really make that happen. Um, unless he's like, oh, my wife's here, so I'm gonna defend my wife from Rhaenyra, right? Maybe that's a play for him to flip. Um,
Yeah.
so then you have that where you're kind of equal-ish, where you have like enough of a problem, but then Aegon and Sunfire can show up. And
Right.
then you're like, okay, now this is just now resetting the scales. The only thing that I really think is missing, which I don't know how we get there, is how does Vagar and Aemon show up?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't
only thing
know.
that really flips this like to
Yeah.
be anything fruitful.
Something tells me that we're not going to see Vagar. We might see Vagar in some capacity, but he's not going to have any effect on anything going forward in this season. I think
Right.
it's just too late for him. Eamon doesn't even know what's going on. I think
No.
as far as what
He's got to recover from some poison now.
yeah.
He
So
can't even swing a sword.
maybe we'll see like where Vagar's been the whole time, but I don't think he's flying anywhere and joining any battles of any capacity. So
Right. So at the battle on the black side, though, we would have a beat up Cyrax could be out of the question just because Rhaenyra probably isn't going to want to be in that fight because that's
yeah,
really risky. Cyrax is also pretty beat up. So then you have Alan. Um,
Rhaena's
Baela,
sister, Baela. Yeah.
Baela, and Caraxes with Daemon. So you kind of have 3 dragons really on their side. So if you can flip Hugh, Ulf, and get the little blue dragon and get Cyrax to show up, then you're like 4-3,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I don't know. I don't think they're flipping Hugh. I don't think in any capacity Hugh would flip to the side of that is with his wife. You know what I mean? That whole
Yeah.
storyline. And we don't know really if she told him any of that stuff. So maybe he doesn't even know.
He wouldn't flip for that though, because she wouldn't want that, because Ormond killed her brother.
Right.
So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
I have no concerns for him flipping.
Right. But like, did he get out? Where is he? Where's his dragon? All that
Right.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I just don't know how this all comes to a head. And they didn't really give us a lot of indication of like what that is, other than the preview. But like the previews are only so helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know where this ends. Other than like we have a lot of pieces now reset a little bit, but it's just like, what's the meeting point where this all meets?
Yeah. I don't know that I think it's definitely going to be
no Vhagar.
Yeah, I just don't see him, because I think we're getting a siege of whatever the name of this town is that they're in. What is it? Tumbleton. I think that's what we're going to get this episode. So Vhagar just doesn't have a place. Like I don't even think Aemon knows anything about Tumbleton. He's been stuck up in Harrenhal.
Aegon does.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But like, what is Aegon? Is Aegon going to go find his brother in Harrenhal? Is he gonna instead go straight there and be like, I am the king? And but then again, like that's not a smart play for him either, because Caraxes will just like, I don't know. He probably shouldn't put himself out there like that either.
I don't think he should. Yeah, I think but Aegon is Aegon, man.
Yeah,
and he's got his dragon back.
He's on a high
down
now,
in the
right
dumps.
now,
He's on a big high. He's on a big high right now.
He's gonna come out hot.
So he's gonna definitely come out hot.
He's gonna Leroy Jenkins Tumbleton.
Yeah,
like, I'm Aegon Targaryen. I will kill you all.
Dude, it's so funny. So at the fire department, we have iPads in all the trucks, and we have this thing called Active 911 that dispatches. That's where all our dispatches come onto. Mm-hmm. One of the ringtones, amongst just regular ringtones, is that Leroy Jenkins.
That's great.
So we have it set on all of them. So anytime we get a call, you just hear Leroy Jenkins. That's awesome. Through all the trucks. It's just like such a random, like, of all things to be here. Why is this here?
That's iconic. Yeah, I don't know. He'd be like, where's Rhaenyra? Like my half dragon versus your half dragon. Like,
he might just roll right back up, man. He might roll right back up to the.
Oh, maybe everyone's in Tumbleton, and like he just rolls up in the dragon pit, and he's just like, "What's up?"
Yep.
Because if all the dragons are there is nothing to stop him from flying right into the.
Nothing at all.
Right into the right into the Red Keep.
Take that throne right back from her at the end. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a cool little twist if she loses her throne during this moment, you know?
Technically. I don't know. Yeah. But still, Vhagar's their main squeeze on that side, and Aemon's kind of a bag in the wind right now.
Yep.
Can they do it without him? I don't know.
I think they can with the betrayal. I think the betrayal will be a big turning, but because he's not just.
They gives them 2 dragons.
Be like, hey, by the way, I'm over here now. Like clearly something's going to be set up to turn the tide a bit.
I hope it's a like in battle betrayal. Like I hope he isn't like on his dragon on the other side of the field. Like
that's what I'm hoping. Yeah,
like I hope he's like with like Hugh, and he just like kills Hugh.
Yes.
Like just snaps Hugh right off his dragon, something like that. Because that would be the smart thing to do.
For sure.
And Ormond is clever like that. And he is really pining to like get back at Rhaenyra. And he makes that clear all the time at this point. Like calls her the C word.
Yeah.
Bitch, cut her like from top to bottom, all the things. So he's definitely gonna be trying to do something very nefarious.
Yes. Yeah.
As he moves his pieces.
Interesting. I think we have a good setup for a finale here, so I'm excited.
Yeah. it's just crazy because like, yeah, that was the cliffhanger. It was just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna flip Ulf, but it's like not like the cliffhanger of
Yeah,
like
we saw it coming.
the whole
Maybe.
setup,
Yeah.
right? Like the whole setup. Like like I'm used to like, you know, the siege is starting. Like
Yeah.
so, but yeah, hopefully it all just comes smashing together. I can't believe it's already the end, and we gotta wait
I
what 2
know.
years for.
I know, dude. It went by so quick.
Needs to be 10 episodes. Just makes
I
it
agree.
nice,
And I hope
nice
that
bit
season
longer.
4 is 10 episodes. Like I hope just finish it on a bang. Don't take your
Oh,
time.
two
Let's not rush
eighters,
it.
a 10, 2 tens, and 2 eights.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they have that much to cover in 10,
Yeah, I don't know where we're at in the book. Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
they
I
could
just don't
just,
want it to feel rushed. That's all I care about.
yeah,
If you can knock it out in 8 episodes and it doesn't feel rushed, I'm fine with it.
they should end it the same way they started it, really slow and drawn out,
Yeah.
where like like the last 5 episodes is just the war's over and it's kind of just setting up what most people consider
Going
the
forward.
boring stuff.
Yeah.
Because we also have to think like when this ends, we're going right kind of 100 years forward, and we're looking at Night of the Seven Kingdoms, where
Yeah.
we have those Targaryens who are
Mhm.
still very much Targaryens, but they are dragonless. They are much more in the game. They're more
Right.
kind of traditional lords with a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they should just like round it off with like more of a history thing. Like how Tolkien's talked about hobbits for like 2 chapters
Yeah.
in Lord of the Rings, right? Just
Yeah,
like
well, they
now
did
we're
that really good, like, cold open to the show where they're talking about the vote at the beginning, right? In episode 1, that cold open where they're talking about the vote of who's gonna sit on the council, and it ends up not
yeah,
being Rhaenys, it ends up being,
right.
Viserys. That was awesome, I love that, and with the voiceover, that was cool. So I'd love
Yeah,
that to be, like, the final scene, just to avoid end it that way,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and as dire as all this seems, like there's just like how does anyone like respectable come out of and all of this? Clearly something does because their
Yeah,
family continues on for another 200 years.
right.
Um so yeah. Cole's dead though. That's what's most important.
That's all that matters in
That's
my
all that
book.
matters is that dude died. That's like that season when Joffrey died. It's like, you know
Yeah,
what?
it's like
Like
nothing
that
else
was
matters.
that was an episode like 4 or 5
Y
too. That was
I think
like
that was,
3.
like, episode 2 or something, yeah.
Yeah, that was super early, and then it's like, "Yep, all right, season's good."
Yep.
Classic. Got
What was
him.
that, 4? Yeah, episode 2.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang, he made to season 4?
He did, yep.
That's crazy. And then he got his crappy little brother. He's such a sweet boy.
He was.
His death is one of my favorites, though.
Dude, it's just the capping point of that
Just
entire episode. Just doop.
just out the window. Dead silent. There's no
Yeah,
music, nothing.
nothing.
Just out the window, just silence. Yeah. I wish we watched Game of Thrones. Anyway, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
That's all of it. Well, we'll see everyone next week for the finale, episode 8. Don't short us, HBO. Give us what we want.
Yep.
Prove to us that
I think it's coming.
you didn't just shift the whole seasonal timeline back forward or
Yeah.
whatever they did. We want our episodes. We want them all together. And if you're really nice, you can give Chad his 10 episodes for season 4,
Yes,
which
please.
isn't going to happen. That's going to be 6.
Probably not. It's definitely gonna be 6, yeah.
And with that, we're out. See you next week.